Well, I want to welcome everybody to the January 16th, 2024 meeting. Official time is 6 o'clock, and if I could get approval agenda this time.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all right. Is Ms. Gordy here tonight? Commissioner Kitchens, could you do the honors?
Sure thing, Chairman. Y'all will bow your heads and pray with us. Gracious and Heavenly Father, thank you so much for watching over us. Thank you for the love and all the blessings that you give us. We just ask that with the weather that's coming up, Lord, we just ask that you be with all our first responders, our public works, our water department, all those that will be out there in the elements taking care of us and all the folks around the county. We just ask you to be with our military, be with our first responders, all those that are laying their lives on the line every day to protect us, Lord. Please be with us in this meeting tonight so that everything we say and do will be pleasing to you. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Kitchens, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
If we can move on to board appointments tonight. We've got an opportunity to reappoint Greg Mullis, Laura Racklin, Mickey Parker, Josh Lure to the Jones County Development Authority Board for a 4-year term. No conversation. I'd entertain a motion to.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? None. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right. One other thing that's not on the agenda tonight, I had a nice opportunity to talk to Ms. Marion in elections, and she'd like for the board to consider looking at the Board of Elections. She said that, she's been chairing that for quite some time, and there's only her and 2 other people. She said we really need to seriously look at a 5-member board. She said that there's only just a few counties within the state of Georgia that's got the 3, and she said she think it'd be much better if she wouldn't chair it, and we'll go to a 5-member board. So
Put it on the next agenda.
put it on the next
I think we
agenda.
talked about that before, didn't we?
Yeah,
It's nice
and
that idea.
she said that she highly recommended, had a good meeting, had a good opportunity to meet with her. You get an opportunity to sit down with her, and she's got some ideas and that great ideas going forward. All right.
Did she recommend having an at-large board or like a 1 per district and 1 at large for the county?
I don't know. We'd have to put to do that, but I think you have to look into the.
One has to represent all the official parties, so 2 of them would have to be
That's right.
from the recognized parties in the county, and then I would imagine those would
large.
need to be at large.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
How we put the chairman, or if we'll allow them to elect the chair, or if we appoint
Sure.
a chair, could be determined.
Okay.
Or a rotating
Right.
chair for different parties each
Well,
year or
if
something.
we put that on the next agenda, that way we can follow a recommendation, because like I said, and y'all have an opportunity to sit down with her. She had a lot of good ideas going forward, what we can do. All right, we move forward to consent agenda and approval for the minutes. We had a work session on January 2nd along with the first Tuesday. If y'all have opportunity to review the minutes, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anybody else getting the tongue twisted tonight?
No, your shoe is making more noise than.
My shoe.
We're all looking at each other. Well, what is squeaking?
Was it my shoe, really?
Rubbing up against the chair, I guess.
Well,
We're
it's
talking about how tight he is.
You'll be you'd rather me keep my shoes on, I'm sure. All right, I thought y'all were just, okay. Laughter's a gift, it's a blessing, so y'all remember that. All right,
Okay.
all right, new business, bid award for Knox Center lighting. Mr. Resner, you're busy tonight, it looks like.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So we bid out the lighting improvements at the Knox Center. We've got money that was budgeted in contingency a couple of years ago that's still there available. Then we got the grant funding from the Georgia Council for the Arts, put those together. We've got about 70,000 total to work with. And prior to the bid going out, and prior to applying for the grant, it was our understanding that would be enough to do the project there. I think the difference is the electrical cost is higher than what, so we spoke with a contractor prior to all that, and he said, factor in probably $10,000 for electrical. as it turns out, it looks like the electrical piece of it's more like 30,000. And so, so these numbers are higher than what we anticipated. So it would take some additional funding from contingency to complete the project. But we received two bids, one from Stagefront for $94,699, and then Barbizon for $99,211. In looking at the bids, I think both the companies have substantial experience in that type of project. The proposal submitted, Barbizon was probably the better proposal in terms of the way it was put together and laid out. The timeline was more detailed, but the price from Stagefront is about $5,000 cheaper. So, honestly, I could go either way. You know, it's the proposal, if you just look at the proposal submitted by Barbizon, that one seems to be closer to what we asked for. But again, the price is about $5,000 cheaper on Stagefront. So I'll throw all that out there and try to answer any questions that the board might have.
Noticeable differences between the two proposals.
Such as references, good or bad, on what do you?
I'm more so concerned about the technology side of it.
Right.
So we specified the type of lighting, the brand of lighting that we wanted. And so all of that is identical from one company to the other.
And this is no sound or acoustics.
Correct.
So the soundboard is good, the acoustics, we looked at some design engineering early on, and it's gonna be tough to do anything, because just the shape of that building is designed for acoustics to begin with. About the only thing I think we could do is put some sound panels on that back wall to reflect it, but most of these companies that do the theatrical lighting and sound and all don't do soundboards and stuff like that, to be separate. But I will say, I've not worked with Barbizon. I know they're a big name company up in Atlanta and do a lot of stuff. I've probably done 10 or 12 jobs for Stagefront. Never had any complaints. They do a lot of stuff with us in auditoriums and stuff now. I work with them pretty regular at the school district, so I've never had any complaints with them.
Any other questions or?
Just want to make sure I'm clear, the equipment is identical because you gave them a spec and they met that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the 5,000 difference is either in name or warranty or?
You know, I don't know. It could be from where they buy the equipment from. Maybe one gets better pricing than the other. Maybe the electrical was cheaper from one to the other. We rolled that in instead of us handling that separately. And so they're responsible for procuring an electric sub. The Stagefront did not break out their electrical in their proposal, and we didn't ask them to do that. Barbizon did, and that was kind of how I knew that the electrical is what pushed this over what we originally anticipated.
Another quick comment on that, in our projects recently, I've just been amazed at the cost of electrical components it's not the labor rates, it's the price of the components. And I think that's just from a availability issue. I know as far as transformers and switch gear and panels and stuff like that are just, they're hard to come by right now, and so their cost is going up.
And to John's point, he mentioned the references.
So the references from Stagefront were projects that are still in progress. And so they didn't submit references on completed projects. The Barbizon references were completed projects. So that's really the only comment I'd have on those. I think both of them are certainly reputable companies and do good work.
I think the fact that Commissioner Kitchens has had already had dealings with them too, that either one of them myself, so.
Yeah.
Barbizon just, I mean, without knowing any of the other references, Barbizon's and work at Georgia Theater in Athens, I mean, I'm not a UGA guy, but I'm assuming that
You
that's
should be.
too late, I already have my master's, I'm good.
That came out before I could control myself.
Roll Tide, Roll
Right
Tide,
there.
yeah. But, you know, again, Berry College, again, all of this is Georgia stuff, and Sam, you had them do installs where? Or Bibb County?
All of our, new auditoriums in Bibb County have their stuff in them, the, Rutland, West Side, Northeast, Appling.
Stagefront's the one that Commissioner Hughes worked with.
Stage one, sorry, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not complete with the city auditorium?
I don't know.
Cause that's one of the projects that he says. Like the city auditorium?
I don't know, they've got, that one's about 3 phases that they're doing.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if that's auditorium or Centraplex. Centraplex, I know they got about,
Oh, no,
4
it's the
phases.
sound system and lighting for the new amphitheater.
Yeah, they should be pretty close to that one.
Yep.
So they're doing the new amphitheater.
Amphitheater, yeah. Which
Okay.
I can't wait.
As long as it's not on a day like this.
What's
April.
the board like to do?
I've got, okay, do we need to make a motion before we can discuss?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
let's do that.
It would
Alright.
help. We did discussion.
I know.
I make a motion to accept the proposal from Stagefront for $94,690.29.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second? All right, discussion.
Where's the extra money coming from?
So we'll have, I feel certain that there'll be additional funds in contingency that we can draw from, and so we'll be fine there.
We've been talking about this for 2 years. It probably been much less 2 years ago.
Oh, it would have been.
Any other discussion?
Just out of curiosity,
Yes.
the electrical, like, isn't our building maintenance guy an electrician?
Yeah, but I don't know that.
Okay, I thought so. I knew we hired him for that.
Warranty, let them do the warranty.
I just asked a question.
Yeah.
Yep. Any more discussion?
That's a vote of confidence right there.
None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, thank you. It's written here up again, initiate T-Splosh referendum process.
So in your packet there, you have something that looks like this with little
For the
paper.
gold,
Yep.
for the gold,
That's right.
for the gold people. It's important.
And so I won't go through every step here, but just to kind of summarize for you, to start the T-Splosh process, we've got to, it's a little bit like some of these other processes. You've got to send a notice to the city that you're interested in doing a T-Splosh. You have to hold within a certain number of days after that, you have to hold a formal meeting with them where you start talking about projects, what the rate of the tax would be, and then you go through a period where you work to negotiate an intergovernmental agreement with them. You can do this without an intergovernmental agreement, but you can't get the full penny. So, excuse me, without the intergovernmental agreement, you can go to 0.75 cents on the dollar. So there's a carrot out there to incentivize cities and counties to develop the intergovernmental agreement there. Assuming that takes a couple months, in April, beginning of April, both boards would approve an intergovernmental agreement. After that's done, then you actually come back here and pass a resolution that calls for the referendum. And then that would go to the election superintendent, and then you would go through a couple months there where you develop and send out voter or distribute voter education materials, and that would lead you up until election day in November, and then collections would be able to start April 1 of 2025. So if the board's so inclined to move forward, I think maybe tonight, just a vote to initiate this process that's laid out here would be probably the next step.
Any questions for Mr. Risner on this?
Yeah, I have one question, Jason. Is it, around April, May, when we start talking about development of voter education materials, and voter education meetings, is that something, I know with SPLOST, especially with an eSPLOST, you can't use county funds to promote that or to educate folks, you have to have, basically sponsored. Is that something that the county could fund, should fund, would fund?
I think you could, and this is probably more of an Ashley question, but I'll tell you what I think, and then she can tell you the real answer. But I would think you could develop materials that say what it's going to fund.
What's gonna do, right?
So as long as you're just educating and not saying vote
Promoting
yes,
it or against or for it,
I tend to think you'd be okay.
Right, okay.
And is the February sixth meeting firm?
No, it's not.
Okay.
So based on this timeline, we have decided to go with November as opposed to trying to do it in the spring.
Just looking at the calendar, I don't think there's any way you could squeeze it in. You have to have, you can't hold that formal meeting. You got to send a notice 10 days after the meeting, or 10 days after the notice. You can hold the meeting, and then you can't do a referendum until 30 days after the formal meeting. So just the calendar is working against us on that. There wouldn't be any way to do it during the primary.
What's the thoughts of the board?
I would like to see us to get some from the community to start out with a committee to help us get people educated on what we're asking for. One that's at every one of our meetings back there, I hope she would agree to be on the committee so that we can educate.
Is there a motion to go forward?
Make a motion to, adopt the proceedings for the single county T-SPLOST timeline.
Second?
Second, any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Uh,
Ayes have it.
Tracy, you know everybody to firm up that date for the city?
Commissioner Martin, you talked about a package sales. Do we need to, when does that have to be?
I think that's a quicker process, and I'll get with Ashley and we'll go through that and
I would
bring
love
that
if
back
we
to you
could,
next time.
my thoughts, like I said, just one of five, but my thoughts of that, if we could combine it with the T-SPLOST for roads.
They were talking about the bleed report.
Or what?
Yeah, I mean, I just, sitting in a training class and listening from people in Atlanta that do these studies and hearing how much revenue and tax money that we lose off package sales. You know, we sit up here and every 2 weeks, we try to figure out where we're gonna get money to do certain things that we don't have it to do, water, paved dirt roads instead of repaving paved roads. Y'all, we're losing a lot of money on package sales, and I don't wanna be the root of evil, but they're drinking anyway. Why not buy it in Jones County instead of buying it in Bibb and Baldwin and giving our Jones County money to them?
I think we can, as 5 commissioners, can make them comments all day. We can do whatever we wanna do, but I think, the voters voted not about 2 years ago, so I think we need to put it to the voters and,
Yep.
I mean, last time their majority was different than ours.
Oh, yes.
So, put it back in front of them, see what they say.
I'm a fan of putting it on the spring ballot. Timing permits, for the obvious, being able to collect. And if for some reason it goes left, you have another opportunity in the fall. So,
On that one,
shoot,
sorry,
go ahead.
I've been accused of being a wet blanket before, so it
it's
won't be.
okay. As I said it, I remembered. Go ahead.
On the alcohol referendum, I have gotten deep enough into it to see, my understanding is there's a 2-year, if it doesn't pass, there's a 2-year, sort of holdout period before you can put it back on the ballot.
Are we in that timeline from the last time it was on the ballot?
That was on the city, ballot, and so that wouldn't apply to it.
Only the city voted?
That's correct.
That's right.
Well,
I thought
that's,
it was on the whole ballot.
Remember,
We
it
didn't
lost
get the
by one
signature.
vote.
so,
The-
next meeting, we can officially, the board, since it's not on this agenda, put package sale. All right, anything else on, T-Splosh? No, Ms. Wagner, you've got a beer and wine license for us tonight.
Yes, I received an application for Haddock Mart on Bowling Hill Road. After reviewing the application and the background check, I recommend approving.
All right,
Motion to approve?
motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second, any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye? Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Is this, Betty's store?
Yes.
Which is the one on the, right on Bowling Hill?
Yeah, the one with
Let's push.
Yeah, I built that thing, okay. It wasn't mine, I just built it. I brought it back from the dead.
They're trying to bring it back from Betty.
Oh, okay, well, good deal. All right, old business, bid award on generator maintenance. Oh, you gonna let Brandon have it tonight?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Generator bids came through. We were finally able to sit down and compare everything. We had 4 bids total. The cheapest came in at $37,435 per the year. The second lowest was $39,190, with a difference of $1,755 annually.
Who's the lowest?
The lowest is Energy Systems Southeast. It's a company out of Atlanta. The next one above that is J&T Service Center. They're out of Lincolnton. Again, difference is $1,755. Emergency response, J&T was cheaper. They were $750 for a minimal trip down here to work on anything. Energy Systems Southeast was $960. Currently, J&T services all of Jones County, including the Sheriff's Department. So they're already familiar. They've already been out to all the sites. So my recommendation would be go to J&T Service Center with a difference of $1,755. Again, 6 call-outs a year, and they make up for that. We've had 2 this year already, and that's January.
Any question for, start?
So you know you have 6 call-outs every year?
I've had 2 in January. I have. I don't know about the other departments. We have 26 of the 32 generators.
Don, have you had any call-outs? No call-out?
I mean, you have-
I've used them, but again, they haven't been serviced in some time, so
Okay.
that's what we're trying to get is at least the annual service.
you know, we,
Preventative maintenance goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Especially on these items.
say
Absolutely.
he's doing the sheriff's department also?
They are doing this, sheriff's department. I don't know if they're in a contract with them, but I know that that's who they call.
The one you're recommending?
Yes, sir.
Just curiosity, how many you reckon you had last year, just for, you've had 6 this year, how many call-outs you think? A bunch?
Dozen.
More than compensate the difference?
At least a dozen.
All right. That makes,
He said he had at least 1,000 last year.
Yeah, so my question was gonna be, you had a dozen, so is it a quality issue?
It's a lack of maintenance issue.
So, because of the maintenance, we'll have less call-outs, you
Yeah,
presume?
I believe that.
Oh, yeah.
Same type of equipment?
Sir,
Same type of equipment in terms of generator?
that we have
Yes.
in the county, it's different brands, makes, models, years. The bid, calls for a major once a year, and it's a biannual, so they'll come every 6 months. There's a major change in oil, oil filters, fuel filters, the works, and then the second one, they'll come through and kind of check everything.
Okay.
make sure everything's up to par.
I just want to make sure it's not a reflection of either the equipment or the maintenance, because if they've been servicing other pieces of
They-
equipment that have been failing,
They come and fix what is broken.
okay.
They have not, because we've been working on this generator thing. When they come out and work on 2 or 3 at a time, when we have a bad storm about to come through and we lose power, hey, we need this thing fixed. They rush over here and get it back running. It runs great. It might run great for 3 or 4 months, and then next time it's supposed to exercise, they exercise weekly. We'll go through and check all 26 that we have and find 1 or 2 of them that are, but again, oil filters are dated 2017 on some of them. Like, yeah, it's been,
Who's responsible for maintaining them normally? Is that each department has a person, or?
yeah, each department, I suppose, yeah.
Sounds good. All right.
Mr. Wishes of the board.
Your recommendation was J&T Service Center, Inc.?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Motion to approve the contract with J&T Service Center, Inc.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All five. Okay, thank you, Brian. All right, we move on to Elmig Road selection. If I may, I've make a comment on this. I've talked to Sean, I've talked to Jason and all. It just, my thoughts, 2 cents were, I'd love to, look, Sean, Jason, Tim, we've got the money invested in the studies on the roads. They're there every day, they know what we need. I'd love to see the board allow them to pick our LMIG list and us approve it, because I think they know the road better than any of us. And they know where we need to be and where we don't need to be. And that's just my thoughts.
My only addendum would be, I know there's a roads list, right? And we recognize we had reds and yellows and some other colors. I don't know that we had consensus on what we were fixing, right? And then across the county, I know I saw a segment in my district that was really terrible. I know I saw a segment in your district that was really terrible, and vice versa. So we have to have some equity across the district, because if not, I mean across the county, if not, somebody is gonna suffer some extended road degradation as we plow through this until we get to a T-Splotch. The old ways, many, many years ago, you know, a chairman used to try and do a mile in each district, you know, LMIC money for some equity. I do recognize that there's some more traveled roads that require some additional funds, but if you don't do that, you're gonna have some areas just not getting work, whether it's Haddock or south or east or west, it just happens. So I would charge that, or the addendum would be, have some equity by district as well. There's some priority roads in each district that need to be addressed, and they're all traveled by buses and carry our children and so on. So that would be my addendum.
I would agree with that, because I think you're right, Chairman. We said we were gonna take the subjectivity out of it and let the priority be the priority and let that determine what roads were first. But if we have 50 roads that are all priority 1, then I think we have to have the equity of the top road in all 4 districts. You go down the list into 4, 5, and 5, 6, 7, 8, in 1 through 4, you know, the districts, and you know, you got to have that equity, because if not, you're right, it's going to be, if we got 50 roads that are top priority, where are they all 50? You know, the first 5 that the money runs out of, are they in District 1 or are they in District 4? Or yeah, so I would agree with that. Let priority, the road determination or assessment be priority 1, and then equity be priority 2.
Any other thoughts or? What y'all wanna do? We spent a lot of money on research and all.
All good, valid points, and, you know, us commissioners do get the phone calls from the taxpayers and constituents when there's road issues, and so it just needs to be an open conversation between Sean, Jason, and the commissioners on, hey, this is where we're going,
Right.
and just keep us updated along the way, and, you know,
Yeah.
good
Chairman?
conversation goes a long way.
Yeah, are you looking for a motion?
Looking at motion for something, it'll let, you know,
Chairman, I make a motion that we, ask the, staff to bring us recommendations for road priorities based on, assessment priorities and then, equity priorities.
we got a second?
Second.
Second. Any more discussion?
You know, we have a person who's on almost every road, or her team is on every road, and I don't wanna discount that. And I think Wendy knows roads probably better than all of us. Would I be reaching? I know better than I do. And I would say don't exclude her,
Right.
leverage that knowledge, cause her buses are there every day, you know, in those spaces, so.
Any other? All in favor, aye?
I-
Any opposed? All right.
Chairman,
You need a list, don't you?
so can I kind of
Yes.
give y'all an overview of what we've done to this point and,
Sure.
and just get y'all's thoughts on that, and then we'll refine that. So Tim and Sean and I have been kind of working with the data we got from the assessment, and, trying to get some good pricing on the different paving methods to see how far our money might go on that list. And so I'm gonna send this around. This is the list that we were looking at last time. This is sorted from, this starts with the very worst, scored road in the county. And so these are the very worst ones, the lowest scores.
Is there a way you can project this so they can see it too?
Yeah, I can go over there and set everything up. And then this, the second, sheet here is, what you're seeing on the big sheet, kind of broken out by district. What's that? So they rode a lot of roads. Some of them were city roads, some of them are private roads, some are, you know, some may have a very small section of pavement right at the very beginning of it. And so that's, yeah, I don't think it is. That's why, I think it's actually dirt. That's why I colored it, or gravel. So
All of these.
Miller Lake Road, I thought that's going
it
to.
is.
That's going
As
to,
far as
So all the ones that are sort of that red, orangish color are out. They're either,
okay, all right.
dirt or gravel. The ones that are, highlighted are out, and so those, yeah,
Yeah, let him get
all
to
right,
that part. Yeah, let
yeah,
me
I'm
get
still
into
you
it.
under the big bus.
and so really we're looking at the gray and the white. And so I just realized, I think I cut one off at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I left one off. So
Where's Chippendale?
my,
Off of Stagecoach,
Okay,
East Colonial.
okay.
Excluding it's rough too.
So in the gray and the white, all are represented except for District 3.
except for this, so, and I went through this exercise. I went through this exercise down about 70 roads and divided them into districts and excluded the city ones and the private ones and that kind of thing. And sort of the recurring theme, that I was unable to escape, no matter how far down the list I went, is that, District, 1 and 4 generally have the worst. Now, on these first 10, it's not necessarily that way. District 4 has a lot more, but sort of as you continue on down and it gets longer, 1 and 4 generally have the worst, and then 2, and then 3. I went down probably into the 70s on that list, and there were only 3 roads from District 3. And so that's an issue we got to figure out from an equity standpoint, I think, is, you know, finding some,
Just sit this one out, Wendy.
You want me to take you and show you?
no, but, so, just kinda working your way down the list, that was an issue that I ran into. And so with the top 10 there, it comes out to, and we assigned a repair technique. So for the sections that are in lost condition, we assumed full depth reclamation and 2 inches of asphalt. We assumed a different methodology for the critical, fair, and so forth, and then no work on the areas that are excellent and good on those 10 roads. And so that comes out to about 804,000. That doesn't have mobilization factored in, and it doesn't have any contingency amount factored in. And so, I would probably suggest, doing an amount below the actual amount we have available so that we got money left to account for that. But this is kind of the top 10 or bottom 10, depending on how you want to look at it. I believe, let's see, Washington Street to City. I think the one I cut off was Hilton Court, and it's Prince Hilton Court. So that would be the next one. But anyway, just kind of wanted to throw that out there for y'all's thoughts.
What street?
It's Prince Hilton Court. I think it's Joy Cliff and that neighborhood on the left.
Princess Anne?
Princess
It's
Anne
off of
Street.
Princess Anne.
So it's
But
a
there's a-
cul-de-sac road.
Is that
Yeah,
the
it's
first
just a
on the
short
right?
one, maybe so, Prince Hilton. So that would,
Any of these have been on the road list before, haven't they?
No.
But then we got the
Like a
study.
whole
that-
new road list.
Yeah, but we got the study, and
Yeah.
it makes a whole difference when we, I understand what Commissioner Martin's talking about, trying to get equity, but, it's gonna be tough. I mean, there's gonna be times that, well, 1 and 4 right now are in bigger need.
Yeah, and as a commissioner in 4, I could tell you about hypothesis and all this other stuff, why my district person to my left probably had less roads to get fixed. But I would say that I know there's some significant negligence. I don't know the degradation of all of these roads, because I ride some of them and not all of them. I'm a man of my word, so I still want some equity, because I don't think, again, it's all fair. But I do understand the why, because I've been here for 12 years and some roads never got any, so I understand that, right? But to go 70 roads down to find a road in District 3, that kind of tells you a little something too, so. I don't want to lose sight of that, because I'm still about equity no matter what. So we need to figure that part out too. But I appreciate this, because it just,
So the road 70 down, the District 3 road, was it a lost road or was it in the,
It was
critical?
probably a dirt road, but had a little gravel on it, made it look like pavement. I'm still bitter about not dirt roads being on that
we're
list.
gonna get that with T-Splosh, because we talked about that, right? We're gonna get that with T-Splosh.
So, but, real quick on the dirt roads though, I said this before, we don't have any roads on the list that are waiting on us for funding. All of them are waiting on either people to get the 75%, which is our policy, or to give up the right of way so as to fund the road. So we don't have, even if we had $1 million to go towards roads right now, we don't have any roads, dirt roads ready to pave. And can't, until somebody says, yes, we want it done, or yes, we're
How
willing to
close
give up
are
the.
we on, like Luke Smith or Skinner Road?
the Skinner Road is still way far away. Luke Smith, the surveyor's working on that one. So the surveyor's been turned loose on Chee Hall, McKay, Luke Smith, and Shady Road Plaza. And so those 4 are all the closest.
Do
out
we
of-
have 75% of the landowners on those?
Yes.
Okay. And that they're waiting on right of way. I
So-
thought those were the closest ones to getting paved.
Yeah, the surveyor's doing the work now to figure out exactly how much right of way we need from each person and road alignment and that type of thing.
So, in a quick spiel, because again, this might be new for some people, and I know I got a phone call and a text Can you explain that in a nutshell, how that works?
So the first step is for the 75% of people on a road to come forward and submit a petition saying, hey, we want the road paved. We're willing to give up right of way if the county will pave the road. Then the board authorizes a surveyor to go out and lay out the center line of the road and figure out how much right of way we need from each property owner. Then you go into a phase where the company we've engaged to help us with this will go to each property owner and negotiate. Hopefully, they just give us the right of way. You know, you run into various issues related to that. But and then after they give us the right of way, if we acquire all the right of way on the road, then the board appropriates money to actually do the road paving project.
In the right of way, so people understand, is a portion of their land that gives the county permission to build the road here, but create some space, right? For expansion or just safety issues, et cetera, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
exactly right.
So people understand that. Because I got some phone calls, and for those that were present and didn't understand why their roads were not on the list, to Sam's point, if that work hasn't been done, they weren't included because it did not have a road already. Okay.
I know when I first got in office, McKay Road was a big issue, and I kept getting calls. We've been told we were gonna get McKay Road paved for the last 20 years, and we pulled it back up, and there was an application in the late 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, and at that point, we still didn't have less than 50% of the people that signed the petition that said we want it paved. And a lot of people were calling me saying, don't touch this road, I don't want the road
Yeah,
paved, I
We
want it.
still got them that way.
Yeah, and we got a lot of them, but so that's where the 75% came from, because you gotta have majority of the people wanting the road paved, not just one or two that are making all the calls. So, when we got to that point, that's when, you know, you have people say, well, I'm okay with it being paved, but if the center line of the road moves over 12 foot and somebody's gotta give 12 foot on one side of the road and nothing on the other side, then they start going, well, then I'm not giving you my property to build a road, even though it's not a road on your property, it's just you gotta have that easement of, you know, maintenance side of the road, so. It gets convoluted a little.
Yep. So what do we wanna go forward on the sale big list?
Would y'all be okay with us? You know, we definitely want to find some there in District 3. We can work our way down the list and maybe pull a couple of those that are, you know, on down a little further to try to get that to balance out.
Okay, so yes, no in the roadways, I'm thinking Chippendale, there's 3 driveways on it. Okay, one of them ends in the person's driveway. So, the road that it's attached to is far worse than Chippendale. So you're gonna pave this little road this road out here that you have to drive on to go onto it is awful because it's a shorter road?
That's a great point. So,
Things that don't make sense.
there's no good way to do this. I mean, we can rely on the 1 through 10 thing on the list, but then you end up in situations like that. And so, that's one scenario. So in that, in the neighborhood where, in the Princess Anne neighborhood, there's probably half a dozen roads in there. They're all very short, but they're all in that, you know, I don't know, first 50, I guess. And so it's like we're gonna go into that neighborhood and address this one that was number 8, and this one that was number 14 is gonna get left off, you know, and when it would have made sense to do both of them.
But
So
my
I just wanna
question-
know how much of Teresa Circle is this counting? I mean, from the top of the hill down into the bottom and then back up?
3/10 of a
Or
mile,
is it counting,
1,684 feet.
and there's more than 3 residents on that? So is it just counting one little small part of that, or is it counting the whole road of Teresa Circle that's probably got 15 homes, 20 homes on it?
I'd have to measure it and see, I'm not sure.
And Maddie Wells, is it from the beginning of Maddie Wells Drive down to the three-way stop?
It's just the section that was bad.
It's the whole road, because when you get to that bottom down there, that three-way, I mean, on the bus, you kinda have to road this way, then you go this way a little ways. If not, you take the wheels out from up under it, because it's so bad going over it.
I'm sure there's a heat map that shows what this identifies as.
Yes,
right?
he's coming tomorrow to meet
Right.
with us he's got something where we can click and it'll take us exactly to it.
So my question would be, if you talk about, was it Queen Anne that we were talking about, Prince Hilton, it had 8 other roads on Queen Anne that had, the same
Princess
distance.
Anne.
Princess Anne still had the same, are they all in the same condition? And if they are, they're just labeled, they're still lost, but they're labeled 12, 15. I think that's when we gotta use a little bit of common sense and say, if we're gonna mobilize and go onto this road and have
knock an area out.
6
Be done with
roads,
it.
you know, then we look at it from that point. But we gotta not get back in the subjective of, my question would be like Wendy said, the section of the road going to that road is worse than that road. Is that what the assessment says? Or does the assessment say it's a fair road and this one's critical, or does it say critical and this one says lost? But if they're all lost, or they're all critical, then we're weighing them the same, with the same weight. Then we get into it doesn't make sense to go out there 9 times and pave a 300-foot road.
And to Sam's point, I think that's logical, and we have to leave it to them to say, all right, here's a homogeneous group of roads that are categorized 3 and 4, right, or whatever the number is, in terms of road degradation, and going out there and doing a mile or whatever that is, and it makes sense. And the same thing if it's over in District 1 or it's Chippendale connected to this other road, knock that out, right? And we have to communicate that so everyone understands the why we're doing that. If you've ever done timber, right, they're not coming out there to do 5-acre tract, they wanna do a 50-acre tract, because the cost to bring that equipment out there, you know, is so high. So to the point, you don't wanna just pull up in a neighborhood on Regency Court and do 0.13 of a mile. That's why you're smiling. So we have to figure that out, so I'm gonna ask that we include that in the motion, that they put together the homogeneous roads, right? That makes sense based on the study, right, and not subjectively. And do their best job of giving us what it looks like in these neighborhoods, right, and by district, so that we have that equity. Because again, I know if you go into Princess Anne, you can spend all the money, because
Right.
Princess Anne hadn't been addressed.
And I think the value that we have here and the benefit of what we have here is we paid somebody to give us an unbiased study. We have professionals that we've hired and tasked with giving us recommendation, and we have people on this board with subject matter experts that are riding these roads every single day. So at some point, they gotta match up or it doesn't make good sense.
He says it a lot better than I said.
He does.
Yes, Tim.
There's a lot of information in this study. This is due February 1st. I don't think we're gonna figure it out in 2 weeks. So whatever we gotta be able to turn something in by the end of the month for this year's funding.
For LMIG. Well, we also know that LMIG's not gonna touch a 50th of these roads, right?
Now, the original list Jason had, we put the 10 roads together that had something for it, was 2.4 million. And that was just the top 10 of the worst one.
Well, I think we gotta get a recommendation from them for the LMIG, cause I think it's a big deal, the LMIG versus the T-Splosh, cause I think we're taking little nibbles out of it with the LMIG.
Will LMIG cover this?
LMIG will cover those, we believe. So this is just kind of painting with a broad brush, a particular technique. Now, we haven't been out and said on this road, you know, we have to do 6 patches and, you know, it needs full depth or not. we've just kind of painted with a broad brush to be able to get to some rough numbers. But we do believe that LMIG would cover those. Now, we could submit those just for the purposes of having something into them. And then they'll allow you to amend your list. So if, stop me if I go off track either way. We could submit those 10, and then, do further study, have further conversation with the board, and then go back to them and submit an amended list before we bid everything out.
Is the 10th road the Prince Hilton?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So it'd be my motion to approve the 10 roads that are submitted, understanding that there could be an amendment.
There's already a motion.
We've
I'll
already got the
second.
motion.
Oh, sorry.
We've already, we did a while ago about giving them authority.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I retract
that's what
previous
we did
motion.
earlier,
Hey,
so it's already
okay.
done.
Did we vote?
Yeah, you
Yes.
voted to let the staff, what was, can you read?
So why are we
Motion
having
to-
more of this? I'm confused.
There was a motion to ask the staff to bring recommendations to the next meeting.
But we're
Sam
go-
made the.
But for the
motion,
list
John
purposes, he needed a list. That's why I was voting on that part. Because he needed something for the LMIC
You
list.
don't have time for them to come
No,
back
no, we don't
Yeah.
have time, we
and
got 2
with
weeks.
recommendations.
We've had to add that, we amended.
What do you wanna do with this motion?
They've already seconded
They've
it?
already-
Yeah, it's already done.
So they need to, they can
Rescind,
just,
you-
yeah.
You need to
Or
rescind.
Just,
Rescind.
So, whoa.
but,
The first motion was,
nobody needs to, they
First
don't need
motion,
to vote on that. They don't need to approve that.
all right,
Already
let's
did.
get,
so if it's done, we're still charging them with doing that, so we know
right,
how to still do that part, right? The big roads list.
To-
But
We
for
give
the
them-
LMIG, we need this. And that's what I was saying for LMIG purposes.
so that was I think that was the purpose of that, to give them authorization to.
Right, to bring a list to us, and then we have to approve the list they bring to us.
Right,
Okay.
But we
So
we
we-
got 2 weeks,
Okay.
unless y'all wanna have another call meeting, no, we got 2 weeks, or we can,
So they voted and seconded, but then they didn't vote on
They did.
it was.
They
enough-
approved
enough-
it?
Yeah,
yeah, so you need to
For,
rescind.
for bringing back, but I think that would stick with what we're talking about for generally what we're needing for a list. So if we're talking about the,
Was the motion to bring back recommendations for the LMIG?
Yes.
Okay, so then
which
you
we've
need to
got,
rescind it.
which we've got right
yeah,
now, which we've basically got, that's what, I mean, I'm just, and Jason said we can amend it. You give them something to turn in.
So the
But what
first motion, just to be clear.
was for them to bring back recommendations for the LMIG. You don't have time for them to do that. So y'all need to rescind that, cause you've already approved it.
I didn't think it was for the LMIG, I thought it was for the overall road plan, which would,
Well, the agenda item is LMIG road
Yeah.
selection, so
okay. Did I make the motion?
you did.
Motion to rescind my motion, Chairman.
Second.
Second, rescind it, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, now a motion to,
Motion to accept the submitted road list, recognizing that there could be an amendment.
Second.
second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye? We're gonna get this
Aye.
for 7
Before
o'clock.
we get confused again.
Yeah. Yeah, we do this every year at LMIG, I was trying to cut the confusion down, and I think I made more again. I won't do that no more, how about that? All right, so we're good?
Yeah, he's good.
You got everything you need for LMIG now, right?
Yes, sir, I'm good.
Can we go to department head? Jason, you wanna start tonight?
I'll just mention to you, I put on everybody's desk the big list of projects that we've got that are approved or in progress, or that we're still paying on, and don't need to do anything with that, that's just for your information, and that's all I have.
Thank you for this.
You're welcome.
Any of them that are standout things we need to know, something not working, way behind, ahead of bragging on it, or any updates that we need to know?
There's a story with every single one of them, but nothing that,
Just
that
give me the
imme-
basics, just give me what I need to know.
nothing that immediately comes to mind
Okay.
right now.
Good.
The list of completed projects is on the very back, so when we wrap something up, I move that to the completed list, so it's the last page there.
Sean, if I can call upon your assistant tonight, I wanna brag on him. Jerry, you wanna come forward? Yeah, you can.
Jerry?
Yeah,
Come on,
befo-
Pee-wee.
Before y'all, Jerry, you wanna tell us a little story about that, and we wanna thank you because this is great what you brought us tonight. We talked about this last meeting.
I think there's some extra copies there on the table.
Everybody
If
got
you
one
wanna
up there?
pass out some out there.
I'll let Sean talk too, but, I think this,
You got one, Jason?
Here, I gave Ashley mine.
you know, we have to ask about getting some designs and whatnot with Jerry's daughter. You wanna tell us the story, Jerry? About how you,
Just put the bug in her ear.
uh-huh,
But she is a what major?
She's a graphic designer.
wow.
This is what she did before she got the good job in McDonald's.
Oh. And she wanted to play her part and give us some
Helping us and
ideas
do some
for
designs.
logos for the county. I like them all
I was gonna
myself.
say comments on them, Chairman, is that what we got?
Yeah, comments, I like them all.
I like.
I do too. I like the top left and the bottom right, and my quick opinion.
I'm right there with you.
I will say this, and John and I talked a little bit about it. The only thing I will say is it says, "In God We Trust" since 1807. So you didn't trust in Him before that. But I think if that's easy to fix. I mean, a lot of times we can, like
Put it in between
if we
Jones
said the
County
bottom
and God We Trust.
right, you know, instead of having Georgia at the top, we have "In God We Trust," and then since 1807, or just the numbers 1807 below Jones County or something like that. So there's easy ways to tweak it. But I like these. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, great job. You brag about your daughter. She's not your baby anymore though, is she? Would you say 27?
She'll always be the baby.
Yeah.
It's always
right.
gonna be the
26.
baby.
She's always gonna be the baby, but I mean, I remember when she was really a baby.
I do too.
You remember when
I
you came here, right? Day one, baby.
I like on the bird one where the county line cuts in the O's versus cuts off the first two letters of Jones County. Do you get what I'm saying? See, on the other two,
Yes.
it cuts off the J and the C. I think
Right.
it looks better going down the O's.
Right, graphically
Right.
speaking.
So on either of those other two, the Jones County could just be slid over where the county line goes through the O's.
All right, do y'all say that "In God We Trust" in small print in between Jones County? No? Okay. Y'all vote me on that.
Why couldn't you put it like
On this diagonal line
maybe at the
here.
very top and put Georgia, swap it with Georgia?
Or I would put the since 1807 under Jones County, and maybe create a little space between the God We Trust.
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I don't think we have to have Georgia on there.
No.
And that in purple and gold.
Very often our vehicles go outside the state.
What about the next agenda? Y'all scratch your head and we'll officially, vote on if y'all like these.
Okay.
Got all
How's
these
that?
people right here. You could just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, raise your hand.
Well, I think there's some tweaks that need to be
Some
done.
tweaks.
Okay, sure.
The next meeting, we'll have y'all's assistant in picking up our new logo. How's that? Fill the room full.
Jason,
More the merrier.
You're fun with doodle polls. You wanna get the
Hey.
tweaks and put it on our website and say,
Hey, can you get her to
Vote, vote,
change the
vote, vote.
colors on that one to purple? I mean to gold and the purple
Are
Jones
you making
County?
a note of all the changes they want?
Okay.
All right,
Shannon's making a note too of all the changes.
and the next meeting, we'll have a doodle poll.
a noodle poll. We'll have a noodle roll, Chairman.
All right. Is she still at home, Jerry, or is she,
And she usually gets home about 6 o'clock.
we might have to recognize her on a job well done. She take,
Can
good luck on that one,
Can he
okay.
get her to, can he get her to the next meeting?
I'll call her and invite her to the next meeting.
Okay. Sean, do you need to fill in for your assistant tonight?
Hey, I'll be real short. I just wanted to, say it's gonna be really cold tonight. We've checked all our bridges, roads, don't have any, standing water on any of our bridges. We've got 20 tons of de-icing material ready to go. Gonna be asking for a spreader next year, but this year we're gonna do it with a backhoe bucket and some shovels. But,
Thought we had a spreader truck.
we do, it's,
Trash.
yeah, we don't need to spend any more money on that thing. Bubba Epps wore it out before we got it, I think. But, yeah, we're prepared, and, like Brandon was saying earlier, you know, we've checked out our generators and everything, and, we're prepared for the worst and expecting the best.
All right, good.
Also got myself and 2 other supervisors going next week to Athens, for the CPWM program through APWA. Again, I want to, thank y'all for the support on the training
All right,
Yep.
great.
and everything.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Brandon, you wanna go next?
It's gonna be cold tonight, y'all think about us.
You think about us, keep our water on.
We'll keep y'all water.
And we hope that everybody don't turn it on in a wide stream, just a drip.
It's just a little drip.
Yeah.
Just a little drip. I put a nice Facebook.
You
post
sure
up.
did, I read it and
Yeah.
shared
I
it.
hope that helped. It did. But that's all I got.
Good comments,
Dar?
CJ.
Yes, sir. I wanna put some input on
that graphics.
Yeah.
I think that's a good start right there. Good start. I reiterate tonight, we're ready for whatever's gonna be thrown to us. It's gonna be cold, windy. I know you guys got a job in the morning. You guys be careful with the black ice. I know it's not any secret that we didn't get the SAFER grant. We just finally received a letter on that. And, I asked tonight respectfully if we can go ahead and hire our 9 firefighters. We had put in the budget, to fund it, FY '22, and to my understanding, we've put it in for '23. So I asked if we can, do a campaign, get with HR, and she'll put me on the right track, and we'll get 9 good folks in here and get them to work.
We've already voted on that, haven't we? All right, well, you good to go?
Yes, sir. We'll be talking. Thank y'all.
Thank
We'll
you.
get them to work.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Citizens' comments tonight, any citizen like to come forward tonight?
On the sign, just a question, is this the shape of it, or would it be a square, or what?
Which one?
Either one.
Some of them's actually
I
the,
mean,
Yes.
Is it
If
gonna
they
be-
go with one on the top, it'd be that shape. If they go with one on the bottom, it'd be round like that.
oh, so it's gonna be a round sign.
it could be either round or it could be
Yeah.
the
Shape of Jones County.
the shape of Jones County.
If it's one of the ones across the top, it's gonna look just like that.
Okay, but the ones at the bottom, it would be in a square.
It'll be the shape of the
It'd be
county,
round.
not a
Sh-
circle.
so in a circle, oh, okay. Can I make a suggestion?
All right.
Why not take Georgia and, since 1807, put them together, and then put in Galway Trust at a separate spot?
That's what we were talking about.
I'm a pastor, but I won't be here next minute. I'll be at a minister's conference, but I'm a retired computer programmer. So that would, to me, that would seem a better way to do it because they go together. That's apples and apples, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's a good suggestion there. I'm not sure I like other colors, but you know, if it was going to be on a big board, a white back or a lighter black back would be are better, but man, this is cool.
This is gonna go on the doors of the vehicles.
Okay, on my door to at the church?
Huh?
I just,
We'll put one on there if need be.
Since 1807.
Any other citizens tonight?
Good evening, board. Once again, I think you all probably know my name by now. My name is LaShonda Whipple. And, I would like to just start off by saying I really do appreciate, the work that the county has been doing on Mountain Spring Road. I don't think I saw Mountain Springs Road on that list of priority roads, but I did get up a petition, and I feel like I did have at least 75% of the resident signatures on that petition. I hadn't had any update on it as far as, you know, the percentage or whatever, but I feel like it was 75% at least.
When did
Those
you turn it
motor
in?
graders that's coming down there doing work or whatnot, not to sound disrespectful or anything like that, but I feel like that's a waste of time and a waste of money because that's not doing anything for the road itself. And it's good, I know some of y'all probably been riding down that way and everything, but, and it's easy to ride down there when the sun is shining and the weather is pretty, but try riding down there after it has rained, a good hard rain, and for some reason it's like the road gets scraped a day or two before the rain is supposed to move in. And when you're riding on red clay after it rains, you can't even hardly even pull through it. And it may seem like I'm the only one that's concerned about Mountain Springs Road, but I'm not, because some of the residents, they're old, they're not able to get out in the evening time, they have health issues, and some of them are working. But that road ain't fit for it. After it's a good rain, or even when it's dry, you can't even ride behind the car that's in front of you because of all of the dust, and not to mention the potholes. It's utterly ridiculous. It's just utterly ridiculous. And I'd appreciate it if y'all would just think twice and think about seriously adding Mountain Springs Road on that list. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Miss Judy,
Come on.
I'm sorry.
Do we know where we are on percentage wise on that?
I don't know. I have to check on percentage wise on.
Do we know how many residents are?
I'm not sure. Do you know when she turned it in?
I'd have to go back and look.
Okay. All right. Ms. Whipple, when did you turn it in? Okay.
All
All right, give us some time to check on it.
I apologize for being late, but I have colitis, so I had an issue, so.
Okay, no problem.
But continuing on with what she was said, I don't know what's, you know, who is what on Stallings Road. Half of it has been paved, half of it is not. It's just like what she's saying. The potholes and all after rain, it's horrible. When I went home from the hospital with my heart surgery, I had to go, my daughter lives out there, and I had to hold a pillar really tight because it'll shake your insides loose, you know. So, you know, if that can just be, you know, I don't know, you know, what commissioner, or like I said, what district it's in, but if, you know, Stallings Road can, you know, can be one of them, would really appreciate it. My daughter and I both are willing to get a petition or whatever, you know, is necessary to go to each house to house. We've already talked about that because it's critical. You know, somebody's got to step up to the plate and say, okay, I want it done, but I'm willing to help you get it done. And that's what I'm saying. We are willing to help get it done. We just need another procedure that we need to do to get it done.
Right, well, and, you know, as tonight, as we spoke, about, putting the T-Splosh on the November ballot,
Uh-huh.
the original T-Splosh before was gonna give the county $1 million a year to
Okay.
pave dirt roads, and it didn't pass, so this is our opportunity
Okay.
to take the burden off of the
Well,
rooftop.
anybody that knows us knows we got a big mouth, so if you want the splash to pass, we will make sure it does because we got
We can't-
Facebook,
we
we
can't
got other
keep it.
things, and we will put it out there.
The
Okay, that's
board
great.
can't
The board can't,
push it or tell people how to vote, but
Right.
citizens certainly can.
Yes.
sure.
And that's why, that we want, that's why I'm asking, because what can we do? We're willing to do it, we just need to know what we can do.
Education and educate people how important it is to
Okay?
to have that, because in one other one, I don't know if you were in here, we were talking about it, package sales, the, money we're losing on it.
And I got that number.
And you got-
$5.8 million a year in tax revenue.
From sales
that
tax.
we lose to Bibb and Baldwin counties for package sales.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd like, my one of five, I'd love to earmark that for transportation needs.
right there real quick, Wendy.
And,
And that came
So,
from Haley Watson, thank you.
that would be another opportunity, that if we earmark that,
Yep.
that it's dedicated for transportation in this county.
Right.
Our roads, along with T-Splosh, I think, that will make up for us not getting the, T-Splosh, regional T-Splosh that would have been
Yeah.
great for this county.
Yep. Well, sometimes it's like Jones County gets left out. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, you know, but yet everybody wants Jones County, and they, just like I hear people all the time complaining about the gas prices. I'll drive to Macon, I'll drive to Milledgeville, I'll do this, I'll do whatever. Well, you're not supporting your community when you do that.
That's it.
And like I said, I have a big mouth and I don't mind telling them.
All right.
But I don't know how much on the as far as with the alcohol and all that, being a minister, because people said, you support that? Everybody has a free will and a choice. Who am I to tell somebody they can't do something? If I'm gonna go out to eat and I wanna eat a steak, somebody else wants to eat chicken, I'm not gonna tell them, no, you gotta get a steak because I'm getting steak. That's not the way it works. So, but thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else tonight, citizens? And we do appreciate citizens come forward, and we'd love to fill this room every meeting. So encourage people to come and be included, and bring us your thoughts. That's what we're here for, because this is a public meeting. If I can start tonight, ladies first on the commissioner comment.
A lot of you probably know, but some may not, that I took a new position with the school system, so I'm no longer the transportation director there, but I am still driving buses. But I am the new, operations coordinator, which is much different than what I've been doing, risk management, accounts payables, facility rentals, all those kind of things. So that's a new chapter for me there, but I still am very involved with transportation too. So, I still know them roads. So I have had a lot of.
The kids start complaining about too. I got a headache by the time I get to school because
I'm driving that route right now. Shh. Yes. It's great to have less stress in my life in some points, and people think that this job is what's stressful. And I can tell you, I tell y'all every week this, it is great to work with this crew right here. One of the best decisions I ever made was to put my name on a ballot. And it's getting that time of the year again that we're all gonna have to do those same things and think about those things again. And I hope that I still am working with this same crew next year. So, I really think that we've done a lot of great things for Jones County. I think that we have fought together, we have fought each other, and we come out still smiling and respecting each other, and I don't think that that's what happened for many, many years.
we've been
And
out and about a lot, and even when new people come to the county, your name has been mentioned. So
So-
you're doing a good job, so thank you.
thank you. So I just, I thank all of y'all.
Yeah. That's it. Commissioner Martin, can you beat that one?
See, they shouldn't let me talk first, should they?
Put his little beanie on.
Can I read it? Watch this. I've never ever done this in a meeting, not to the commission. I echo what Wendy says. It's been a good experience, better than it's been in years. When you focus on people and the process, it becomes relatively easy. I'm thankful that I don't have to deal with the water phone calls, or the pothole phone calls,
Amen.
you know, or coming to get my cat out the tree, or, you know, whatever it is that everybody else has to deal with, right? Because this is a job that, you know, I was called to do. I'm happy that I'm here to do it. I got here because I came here to rent a room for my church, and the guys that were up here kind of told me to come back to another meeting. I'm like, I'm on the agenda for you to vote in this meeting, but you want me to come back to another meeting? Yeah, I don't seem too bright, so I'm coming back to run for office. It was really that simple. But I'm thankful that I was sent here to do a task, and I appreciate the work. I believe we do good work. It's not always agreeable to everybody that's out there, and sometimes you don't know the whys behind it, or even in the executive sessions where we might spend hours contemplating simple things like land purchases to complex things about salaries. But I believe we try to do what's best and what's right. And I'm thankful for that. Right down to the logo. You know, when I first got in this county, the logo wasn't going to look anything like this. And I questioned, like, wow, that's y'all logo. Okay. And it's little things that mean a lot to people and even to myself. So I'm appreciative of that. And like Wendy, if the voters, if it's the voters' will that we return, so be it. I think it would be great because there's some more work to do. But if it's God's will to do something else, let it be so. With that being said, Chairman, I'm excited about the roads. I'm hopeful that a T-Splosh does pass, gets on the ballot and pass. Same thing with, you know, package sales. It's a no-brainer. We need resources, and it shouldn't be on the backs of everybody else. We move here because it's a great county. You can leave your doors unlocked in some neighborhoods, most neighborhoods. I can come home and my cars are still there. With the wheels, you know. Yeah, could have a crazy girlfriend that might change some things, but that's a whole nother subject. Sure, if that goes to you. But, you know.
Have you been missing wheels lately?
No, I'm good. Got my passport back too. But, you know, this is a great place to live. I had no idea that, you know, 24 years ago that I'd still be here because I'm from Connecticut. But my family has been in Georgia since 1795, so this has been home. You know, from Cuthbert, Georgia to Macon, who knew? Yeah, Cuthbert, yeah. We might be cousins, you never know. So I'm thankful. I hope that we can do more intentionally with the school system to bring kids on board. I've been talking about that, and I really want that to happen because those are some of those low-hanging fruits I think that really will transition the county for years to come. Firefighters have to come from this community to a certain degree, and we start that pipeline at the school system just as we start transitioning into some good roles. We've hired some people from outside, fresh thoughts, fresh views. I appreciate that. But there's some low-hanging fruit that we have to deal with in the county. So I'm hoping that we do that this year. Thank you. Appreciate you, Wendy. John, say it.
Short and sweet to the point tonight. I appreciate all of our employees, all their hard efforts from the sheriff's office, fire department, public works, parks and recreation, water and public works. Everybody does a great job, and I'm proud to say I'm from Jones County.
Amen.
Man, I don't know what I'm supposed to say now. Y'all hit all the right points. I would echo everything they've said. I thank you to all of our staff, our employees, the folks that actually do the work that make us look good. And can't thank y'all enough. We appreciate everything. It's a new year. We're doing great, and I hope we continue on the path that we're on. And God bless every one of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. Again, we appreciate the citizens that come, and we would love to have even more.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, aye. I don't have to ask you this
I
time.
know.
Wow.
See, it's a new year.
Man.